I want to say a few words again today about players, and this is in line with our safe relationship training concept, in that we need to be aware of those who are on the dating scene, and especially of those potentially who are not serious about finding a long-term partner. And so I want to say a few words as far as the player is concerned, and to just help us to understand some of the scenarios that we may come up against. And often a player will present themselves very well in terms of being who you may want to be with. In other words, they may present themselves as your ideal relationship candidate. And therefore, one of the keys to staying safe and happy in the dating realm is really to take our time as far as a relationship is concerned, and also to be able to maintain our own boundaries and values so that we understand that we have the right to progress at the level and at the speed that we want to. However, sometimes with a player, a woman in particular, but a man also, can feel as if they are swept off their feet with all the flattery and the love bombing that goes along with being able to sweep someone into their reality. And that often comes with quite a lot of sexual charisma with it, because they've been used to being able to seduce the opposite sex using their sexuality, but in quite a subtle manner. And so a man may have quite a strong sexual aura, which they are able to project onto the woman through charm and flattery and lots of attention very quickly at the first meeting. And so it's a matter of them being able really to turn other people on very quickly, using, as they see it, their skills in order to do this very quickly, which of course bumps up the ego of the player and of the person in question, and can tend to really take us off track, because we are suddenly bombarded with all this attention and energy very quickly, which is often done to throw us off balance and to not give us enough time to question what is actually going on. And this initial effusive bombardment of energy and passion and sexual charisma often falls off quite quickly, because for them it's a very strong ego fix initially, but because they're not in it for the long haul, they're not going to sustain that level of attention once the other person is hooked, because that's the purpose of that initial meeting, is to just see if they can hook you in. And for some people that is enough. It's like sport and entertainment. And so they often just like the feeling that they can draw someone in very quickly through their, as they perceive it, natural charisma. But in a lot of cases, It is not actually a part of who they are at all. It's a game, it's an act, and they've had often a lot of practice of doing this. And so part of the evening's entertainment might be to see how many people of the opposite sex they can draw in one evening. And so it's an ego fix for many people. And this, I think, can be used as a red flag in order to allow us to put our relationship antennae up and to be aware of what may be happening so that we can either withdraw or take care of ourselves in some other way. And also, players, after that initial drawing in, often cool off very quickly, because once they become confident that they've drawn you in sufficiently, that you will be there waiting for them on the end of a text or on the end of the phone, then they do not see that they have to give any more attention to you, potentially because you're there waiting for them. And very often they don't like to do an awful lot of work in order to keep people on the hook, because they like a lot of variety, and they're quite often, when you're not hearing from them, off somewhere else, hooking other people in and keeping other people on the ball, ready and waiting for them. And so it's quite a good idea to make a note of some of the things that are happening. For instance, whether the other person, after that initial drawing in, actually wants you to do all the work. So it could be that you might see nothing very much happening after that initial contact, even though they've given you their details, which is quite a clear indication that they may want you to do the pursuing, whether you're a man or a woman, so that they condition you early on to do all the work, and also condition you to not have very high expectations, so that at the end of the day, if you do fall in line with that, they actually could get quite a lot for very little input, because you're actually putting all the energy in and the time and potentially the love, so that you are being conditioned to give and give whilst expecting virtually nothing in return. So that's quite a good red flag to look out for as well, particularly if you want to be in a really healthy relationship, which of course is based on mutual give and take. So I thought I would just leave that with you as a couple of points there to look out for if you do come across a player in your path, and also so that you may have time to work out beforehand what you may want to do in those circumstances. So, as always, stay safe and very happy. Bye bye.